I love people watching. I just watched a couple break up, unfortunately, but it's very interesting from this angle. I almost feel like I'm like an angel watching down on them, or like, because like, they just don't see me. That must be like how our angels feel when they're like watching us, like things happen to us, or like us living. Make me cry. You can try, but you can't make me cry. Ellie, quoi. You're doing great, honey. I love you. Love you. You're the best. Believe in yourself, and everyone will believe in you too, because you're sure of you. Go team. Ah, I finally made it to Saint-Aubin, where I'm staying for a few days. I have to show you guys the view. It's incredible. I probably look like death because I've been, I had like a 2-hour train, but today there were manifestations, which basically means that like a lot of the buses weren't running and stuff, but I finally made it and the view is so gorgeous. I have to show you. I just came here for a few days to relax, but look at the view. There's people still swimming. We're in like November and people are still swimming. I think I might go swimming too. So yeah, here we are. So I'm in Normandy again, but like in a different part. It's only like 2 hours outside of Paris. I feel like when you live in a big city, it's important sometimes to plan like these little getaways to recharge. And they even left me like some cider. Cider in France. Whatever, I'm not even gonna like act like I know shit. The kitchen's really cute. I love this. I'm gonna go down to the store because one thing I've learned is stores like in these little villages close really quickly. I'm probably just gonna relax tonight, not film much, and then tomorrow I'll explore and film a bit. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I love the feeling of sleeping in a new place, like in a new bed and everything. It's just so cozy. Farewell, honey beach. Farewell, star. Farewell, bright light. I'll miss you from afar. We'll put a little yogurt in there, and it's the perfect brunch situation. Hi. Oh god, she's such a YouTuber, isn't she? The sun hurt my eyes. An awkward silence. The streets are oddly vacant. I watched you walk away. So it's the next day after I just got here, basically. I got here last night. And I was so tired yesterday that I was like listening to a podcast. I got dinner. I went like vintage shopping kind of on accident. I got this really, really pretty necklace. And I was just so tired. And then this morning I did my meditation, I journaled, and now I'm just like walking around. Like, this is honestly my favorite way to travel, is go to a little village with no expectations, that's sort of like off the grid, alone. Like, I honestly don't think that I even could travel with other people now at this point, because I love traveling solo so much, which might seem weird to some people, but quand tu commences à voyager seul, tu peux vraiment faire ce que tu veux, et il y a une connexion que tu as avec soi-même, which is just so incredible. Like, I just walk around and I know that like anything could happen. The birds are chirping. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I really want to go swimming, because even though it's kind of chilly out, I feel like it would just be like the last good swim of autumn. And then later I think I'm going to sit down with you guys, have like a nice dinner, and do maybe like a Q&A. But I also think it's important to change locations for the pure feeling. For example, if you live in a big city, but like the pure feeling of just changing the energy. I think that oftentimes in life we become stagnant because we're waiting for like the right moment to do things, for example in projects. But your job isn't to be like the best. Your job isn't to put out the work that is the most original or like the most groundbreaking. Your job, I think, on earth, our job as artists and creatives, is to move the energy forward. And you can't move the energy forward by keeping your work in like the bottom of a desk. Do you know what I mean? That's what I've really realized lately, is I think that like we're always gonna have this feeling like we could make something better. We could work harder on something, but at the end of the day, like, tomorrow's not promised. So your best right now is good enough. Oh my god, the birds are chirping. It's so nice. And it's just so, like, no one's on this road. Like, if I was in Paris and I had done this little, like, sit down in the street, like, at least, like, 5 people would have stopped by and, like, stared at me like I was crazy. And yeah, another thing that I've really been thinking about lately is, and I was talking about this on my podcast as well, that in life, and I think especially lately from people that I've been talking to, we're all going through like periods of uncertainty. And I think that also comes with like the end of the year and like changes coming up, maybe moving or in relationships. But I think that the more that you can become certain of yourself, the more you can detach to external situations, because you know at the end of the day that you're going to be okay with yourself. And I think that that's how we build confidence, is the more time that we can spend with ourselves and really love ourselves and pour love into ourselves, then the more that we can be confident in anything. And I think that actually it's an interesting cycle if you think about it, because the more that you overcome adversity and the more that you realize that in any situation you're going to be okay. For example, if you miss your airplane, it's okay. Like, if you know, the more that you can let go of any sort of expectations that are of things that are outside of yourself, the more you become sure of yourself, you know? And that's why I think that a lot of times people are always like, how are you so happy all the time? Like, how do you not let things faze you? And I think that's because at the end of the day, I have gone through enough shit and like built enough trust in myself that I know that no matter what, no matter like anything that happens, like, I love myself and I believe in myself and I know that I'm gonna be okay. So Oh my god, look at this painting. I love little details like this. Look, I just ran into this. The dangers of vlogging. Another thing that I love about little villages like this is there's definitely sort of like this 80s vibe. And you know, I'm all about the 80s. I love 80s music, 80s fashion, 80s films. My favorite French film director is Eric Romer, and there's a lot of his films that are like set in the 80s or like early 90s, and the fashion is just so cool. Like, you guys, if you want to watch some like cool French movies, definitely check out some of his movies. I think there's even some on Netflix. Yeah, I would definitely encourage you guys as well, if you're ever visiting Paris and you want to see like another town but don't want to like spend too much time, like travel time, maybe instead of like the south of France, like Normandy is a good alternative because they have like these cute little villages like here, but also it's only like 2 hours away, and there's beaches as well, and a lot of history. As we all know, everything is closed on a Sunday. That's okay. The florists need their days off too. Ah, she's on vacation. Okay. Uh-oh. Is that a black cat? Fuck, don't cross my path. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, you can't cross my path if I go in the other direction. Beating the system. Ooh, should we go get ice cream? That sounds so good. You know, sometimes when I ask myself that, I remind myself of when I was younger and my mom would always like make everything so fun. She'd be like, oh, like, let's go to get ice cream, let's go do this. And I think that sometimes I think about the fact that I would be such a good mom because I know that I would just make my kids' life so much fun. But also, I am already a mom, like, to myself and to the internet. Just kidding. I'm your mother. No, I feel like more like your big sister, I hope. You know? I hope that I can be a source of fun and joy and like lightness to your week, you know? Y'all are my babies. Babies. Oh, we turned a corner. Look what I see. The beach. That's like such an inspiring thing to like look into the distance and see pure blue. Pure blue. What I was talking about earlier, like around my podcast and stuff, and I don't want to give like too much of what I say on the podcast away here because it kind of defeats the purpose of having another platform and everything like that for that content. But I actually have a lot of friends recently that have told me that they would really like to start a YouTube channel or something like that, and they ask for advice. And one of the things that I've been thinking about lately, and I think can always make sure that even if you don't have a channel or any project that you have, one way that you can always make sure that you're in line with your purpose and your true north is by asking yourself, what is my mission statement? Like, what is it that, why am I doing this? I guess I would say my mission statement is to inspire others to create freely and to expand and take up space. And so once you have that mission statement, you can literally apply any project that you want to do under that umbrella and ask yourself, does that align with that statement? And obviously you can tweak it with time, but I think it'll be really helpful to you in anything that you create after that, because you're able to ask yourself and stay on track with why you're doing what you're doing, you know? And also it'll give you confidence because, you know, sometimes in life we can be afraid to share things, but it doesn't necessarily take the fear away. But I know that my mission statement and what I want to do is more important to me than the fear of anything that could come from creating or sharing or whatever. In any case, nothing is inherently embarrassing. We're the ones that decide if something's embarrassing or not, you know? Oh my god, cute. I love that. Such a sweet, like, I love all these sweet little details. Oh. I used to have a German Shepherd named Greta. She was so sweet. She would never, like, but this place is so cute. Also, I love this is like the only supermarket and it says closed from 1 to 3. Oh, I gotta love it. You just... So I was outside of that restaurant just taking a video of the sign because it says Ici le sourire est obligatoire. And it's like totally the opposite of Paris, and it basically means like, here, the smile, you must smile, basically. And there was this lady that was walking out of the restaurant. She's like, well, they're closed for the afternoon, and like she's just like telling me all her drama. And I just think it's funny because I don't know why, but old ladies always come up to me and complain about things as if I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck it, like just totally like we're gonna like raise hell together. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. This happens to me actually everywhere, like in Paris too. Like I'll be in line and like an old lady will just turn to me and just start bitching, and I'm just like, alrighty then. Should we go swimming? I feel like it would be a crime not to. I smell you on my pillow. Starlight was on CBC. I watched you walk away. So, a little update. I went to go find some ice cream, and as I was walking, there was this guy that like stopped me, and he's like, oh my god, you should be a model, blah blah blah, you know, like the whole thing. And I was like, okay, well, have a good day. And I like left, and I turned the corner. I was walking for like 10 minutes, and I turned, and he's like behind me, and he's like, do you he's like 20 feet away, and he's like, do you want to get a drink? And I'm like, no thanks. And he's like, what about an orange juice? I'm like, no thanks. And he like walked towards me. He's like, it's been so long since I've spoken to an American, can we please just get like a drink together? And I'm like, no thank you, I'm not interested, but like very nice. And he just kept pressing it, and I think that like there was this part, there's always like this part of you as a girl, like you feel like you need to justify the fact that you're not interested. And it was just like a reminder to myself that like I think in all of those situations normally you always feel like you have to be like, oh no, sorry, I have a boyfriend, or like, sorry, I can't because blah blah blah. But like it's completely valid to just say like, no, I'm not interested, thank you very much, and like leave it. Like you don't have to explain yourself. As Johnny Depp would say, never complain, never explain. It's also, I don't feel like you should be offended if someone like asks you on a date, but like if I honestly said no, like I'm like looking behind me, I'm like in this like very shit, where the fuck am I? Oh no, it's a dead end. Shit, he's probably waiting at me at the end. But I think like if you've already politely declined like 4 times, you can just be like, I said no. So anyway, I never worry like as a traveler, as a girl traveling alone, because I try to keep my wits about me. I think that's another thing that people always ask is like, how do you feel traveling alone as a girl? But I think you just have to be smart, and you know, now that I know, this is like a small village, and now that I know, he said that he lived here, and he said that, honestly, like, I don't think there's a lot of like, I haven't seen like a lot of females my age. It's like kind of older people, so maybe it is like rare for them around like fresh meat coming through. Ew. It's kind of gross, but yeah, just gotta be smart. For example, and even in Paris, like, I'm never afraid to walk anywhere by myself, but I will not really walk anywhere at night without my phone. Like, I'll always, anyway, whatevs. Alright, well, honestly, if you guys are doing intermittent fasting, this is the perfect city for you because everything is closed until like 3 p.m. So I'm gonna go home for a bit, do some editing. I walked around for like a good 2 hours, and maybe tonight I'll take a dip. I don't know, that would be nice. We shall see, what shall see. Alright, I am a crazy girly. It's so cold, like I'm literally so cold right now, but I'm forcing myself to go down to the beach and get into the water, even if it's just for like 5 minutes, because I just feel like you can't go all the way to the beach and not get in. Like that's, I don't even have like proper bathing suit bottoms. I'm wearing like underwear, but whatever. It's like the same shit, right? It's like the same, whatever. We're in France. Could go nude if I wanted. Is this like masochistic of me though? I don't even care. I need to do this. I just feel like I always watch those videos of people in like Sweden and stuff going in like super cold water, and I'm like, if those girls can do it, so can I. So we're going to the beach. Anyway, let's get out of the beach, baby. Fuck. See, like I'm gonna be the only one out there. I'm like cold just standing at the window. Be the person you would want to be on this trip with you. And honestly, I would want someone that's like, yeah, fuck it, like let's go in the water. So that's gonna be me. For me. Let's go. Ugh. The lighting sucks. So I went down to the beach and I was the only one down there. But I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna go for a swim. And I went in the water, and you know when you like duck under and like you can't feel your whole body, but I was just like talking to this guy and being like talking to myself and telling myself like you can always count on you. I love you so much. I believe in you. So I got out and I was like shivering cold. I didn't even bother to put my clothes back on. I just like walked back like this. But as I was walking up the boardwalk, I was like crossing by all these people eating dinner in like their winter coats, and this guy was like laughing, not like meanly, but sort of just like, oh, fait pas trop froid pour nager là, wow, t'es courageuse. And I said to him, well, but demain n'est pas promis. And I think of that a lot, like tomorrow isn't promised. And I always want to be the one that just like, if it was my last day, I would go in the water, you know? And he looked at me and he said, oui, c'est vrai. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know why, but this year in particular, I've known a lot of people who have had family or friends pass away, and it just makes me so grateful for life. And I always say every morning in my affirmations that this life is a gift that I'm so grateful to receive. And like, I'm always gonna be that bitch that like gets in the water when it's too cold, you know? And it might seem like such a small thing, but every time I do that, I prove to myself that like I am going to treat my time alone as precious as it would be if I was on vacation with like my soulmate one day. If I was here with my soulmate, we'd do like crazy things, and I want to do that with myself too, you know? But yeah, I think that I'm gonna end the video here. I'm gonna go to the supermarket while it's still open and get some dinner. I'm gonna edit and maybe go on like a nice long walk. But I just want you guys to know how much this means to me, like having these moments together. And I'm sure you hear that all the time from YouTubers that you watch, but like I think that having you guys with me on these trips makes me feel like I'm sharing it with somebody, you know what I mean? And I love you and I care about you, and I just want you to know that I believe in you, and you can do anything and never let anybody tell you otherwise. Follow your dreams and jump in the water, baby. If you made it to the end, leave me a comment of like what your favorite part of the video was and when you felt the most connected to me, because that's important to me too. Okay, well, I will see you in the next video. If you enjoy the work that I do, you can support me on Patreon. I also have 2 books out now. One which is an affirmation workbook journal, which is made to help guide you towards your creativity, following your dreams, and just get in touch with yourself through like creative exercises. I also have a poetry book, and I sell prints, etc. And I just recently released my first ever song. So all that will be linked down below. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Close your eyes, get some rest. I'm by your side, lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day, but I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall